Good evening. Welcome to Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministry. This is our Music Minute, where we're taking a look at the hymns we'll be using tomorrow for the first Sunday in Lent. And we're going to go in order today. We'll start with our gathering hymn, O Love, How Deep. And best way to describe this hymn is if you would look at hymnody in its entirety, so our entire hymnal, it would stand to reason that it tells a story from creation to consummation. And it takes a lot of hymns to do that, right? Between our two books, we have well over 1,000. So this hymn actually goes from creation to consummation all in one hymn. It's one of the few that does that. It's a story from beginning to end. And it's all framed by God's love for us and our own doxology to the, quote, Trinity whom we adore. O love, how deep, in jazz style. We'll sing it a little bit different with some trumpets and some louder things tomorrow. All right, moving on to our hymn of the day, When We Are Tested. This is a prayer that's based on the temptation of Christ. And the text is set to a tune that we know, Be Thou My Vision is the tune, or the words that we would normally sing to this. And it's taking Bible stories with single words or short passages from those Bible stories to tell it. So it's using wrestle, bread, stone, food that sustains by night and by day. And it's situating the struggle within this biblical narrative that it's telling us. The hymn calls from that struggle on God, who of course nourishes, lifts, teaches, builds us, helps us get it through. It was written by Ruth Duck, and she is a United Church of Christ pastor, professor, and practical theologian and hymn writer. This is When We Are Tested. Next, we'll turn to our communion hymn, and this one's going to be a little bit different. This has Created Me a Clean Heart. It's actually found in the service music portion of our hymnal. We have done this back when we were doing offertories, back in the pre-COVID days. We would sometimes use this. It comes from James Capers. It was from a liturgy that he wrote, which is a little bit more modern, a little bit jazzier. It's often used on Ash Wednesday. Created Me is based on Psalm 51. So that's where this comes from. And so we are going to sing Created Me a Clean Heart by James Capers tomorrow. And this is that song. So a lot of fun. We'll sing it a couple of times. Last but not least will be our sending hymn, and that is Bless God, O Now the Journey. And this is another hymn with a broad scope. So two of them we kind of get in one day. It really fits the Lenten journey well and the journey of life. And it was originally written with a much more narrow scope, though. It was not intended really as a broader Lenten or a scope of life. But over time, that's where it has really migrated to. The tune is based on a Welsh tune. And so we will go now with Bless God, O Now the Journey. And that concludes our time together tonight as we've looked at our hymns for the first Sunday of Lent. We'll look forward to having some time together again next week for our second Sunday as we continue the Lenten hymns. There are so many wonderful Lenten hymns and themes that we can explore during this time together. If you're joining us in person tomorrow, those services are at 8:30 and 11. And of course, the 11 o'clock service will be broadcast live stream on our YouTube channel. Thanks so much. We'll talk again next week.